welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well. Today's video is going to be my Valentine's Day makeup tutorial. I had no idea what I wanted to do for this tutorial, so I pulled out like all of my palettes and I decided that I wanted to do something bright and fun. I didn't really know what I was doing. I know there are so many other Valentine's Day tutorials out there that are like very soft, sexy, very simple to recreate, but I wanted to do something a little bit different and incorporate some color. And a lot of you guys know that I actually got the Bright Morphe palette from EYESHADOW, so I decided to pull that out today and just like let my creative juices flow, and this is what I came up with. And I actually really like how this turned out. I think it's absolutely beautiful and a perfect way to kind of incorporate color if you're a little bit nervous about color, but I think it's like very like nice and tasteful, if that makes sense. If some of you are interested in seeing it a little bit of a different kind of like softer, more muted version of a tutorial for Valentine's Day, please let me know down below and I'd be happy to do that for you, hopefully get it up in time. But I hope you guys are super excited for this video, and if you guys want to see how to recreate this look, then just keep on watching. Okay, so first things first, we're going to prime and prep our face. I'm going to start out with the Clinique PEP-START Hydro Blur Moisturizer. I always like going with the moisturizer before I do any of my makeup. I typically like to start with my eye makeup, but I'm going to start by like prepping my skin first, so it just sets nicely into the skin. My skin just soaks it up. So now that we are moisturized, I am going to go in with my Makeup Revolution Pro Fix Oil Control Fixing Spray. Just spray a little bit of this on. So since I'm quite oily, I do like to use that, but I want my look today to be a little bit more dewy. So I'm going to be trying the Elsie the Glow Enhancer Dry Face Oil, and I'm not going to be mixing this in with my foundation. I just want to put it straight on and let my skin kind of soak it up. I'm only going to be using like maybe 3 drops of this because I don't know how far this is going to go. It's really pretty and it has a bunch of like shimmer reflex in it. So it's going to give your skin a nice healthy glow, but I need that oil control underneath it so my oils don't peep through. Now moving on to the eyes, I'm going to prime my eyes with my LA Girl Pro Concealer. I have this in the color Natural. I like this because it just cancels out all of the discoloration in my eyes and creates a really nice even base for the eyeshadow. Now I am going to set this concealer with the L'Oreal Hydra Perfect Loose Powder. I'm going to be putting that on my Sigma E50 Large Fluff Brush. I just don't want any of my eyeshadows to skip, so I always have to set my base with a cream color or a translucent color powder. So for eyeshadow today, I wanted to have some fun with some pops of color, so I have my BH Cosmetics Foil Eyes 28 color eyeshadow palette as well as some Morphe shadows. So I'm going to be playing around with these. I really want to do like a peachy pink purpley colored eyeshadow look. I don't really know what I'm going for. We're just gonna play around and see what we come up with. So I'm gonna start by taking my Morphe 35N palette, which has a bunch of nice matte neutral colors, and I think I'm gonna take a mixture of these 3 like peachy pinks tones right there. I'm gonna be taking it on a Morphe M513 as our like transition crease shade. I'm going to be blending it, starting with the most pigmentation on the outer corner, but still dragging some of the color on the inner corner because we are going to be cutting out our crease a little bit. Just going to be building this up on both sides until I'm satisfied with the color payoff. Now I'm going to take this gorgeous palette. This is the Morphe 35B. So I think I'm going to start with these 2 matte shades and kind of blend them a little bit lower into our crease, but still kind of in windshield wiper motions. I'm going to be trying out a new brush as well. This is the Morphe R39. So I'm again starting with that pigment on the outer corner and then just windshield wiper motions, buffing whatever is left over into the inner corner. And as you can see, it's a little bit lower than those first colors we placed. Now because I want this to be a little bit more pink, I'm going to go in with that same brush and I'm actually going to take this really nice bright fuchsia color. I'm going to be placing this right on the outer corner. Oh yeah, that's pigmented, but just blending that inwards just a little bit. This color I'm not going to be bringing super far in. I'm actually just want to keep that color towards the outer V of my eye, like the outer third, and then bringing the rest of the color into my lid about halfway. I'm going to take that first brush again and just kind of blend out the edges of this without any additional product. Now to deepen up my outer crease, my outer third, I am going to be taking a mixture of this guy, this one, and probably this one. I just want to get some purples in there as well, and I'm going to be using that on a Delium Tool 783 brush. Focusing this right on the outer third. It also makes it really easy if you keep your eye open for this part so you can actually see where you're placing the color. I'm just going to start by like lightly wiping away some of this color just to see what we have going on here. Alright, now for our lid shade, I'm going to be going back in with the Anastasia Cream Concealer. And I'm going to be taking an Anastasia 18 brush, which I think is her concealer brush. We're just going to be carving out just a little bit of our crease. It's going to be like a half cut crease, just so we have a nice place for the lid shade. So I'm going to start by taking the most amount of product on the inner part of my lid and then slowly kind of cutting out where we want to put that shade. And as you can see, it's so important that we left some of that like bright color so you can actually see the difference. And then once you get towards the middle to the outer third, you're just going to be like lightly blending the edges. Now before this dries, I'm just going to be going in with these two shimmer shades here. It's like a nice kind of like light baby pink with like a light baby purple. I'm going to be mixing the two of those and packing that on my brush and then just pressing this on the lid. So as you can see, there is going to be a little bit of a harsh line, so I'm going to be going back in with the darker shades that we use just a little bit, and on the side of the brush I'm just going to be kind of rubbing it back and forth, just kind of making sure that the two colors are blended evenly together. And then I'm just going to do the same thing on the other eye. I do want to do a winged liner today, so I'm going to be using the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner in the color Trooper. I cannot do my liner today, so I'm just going to leave it at that, and I don't want to ruin it anymore. Next I'm going to take my mascara. This is the Maybelline The Rocket Volume Express. I'm going to be doing a light coat of this before I put on my falsies. I wanted to try a new lash style today, so the ones I'm going to be popping on are by Coco Lashes. These are in the style Demi G. Super wispy and spiky, but you know, still quite dramatic, which is what I want. So I'm going to pop these on and we're going to finish off the face. Okay, so lashes are popped on. We're going to move on to the face. So as you guys remember, I already kind of like primed my face a little bit, but we're going to go in with another primer. This is the Estee Edit Pore Vanishing Stick. I love this thing. A lot of people either love this or hate it. I actually see a huge difference in my pores when I use this. I love this, and I've been using it every single time I do my makeup. You guys are probably tired of me using it. For foundation today, I'm going to use one of my current favorites. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. I have mine in the color Soft Beige. I'm actually just going to be applying this straight to my face with the little applicator. I like to use about one full like application's worth from the applicator on one half of my face. A little bit less actually, because this is quite buildable. And I'm going to use my Morphe E6 brush. I'm just going to be working this into my skin. I really like to push this in to get the most coverage. I also did a whole like first impression demo wear test review on this foundation, as well as their concealer and new powder. So I will leave that linked down below if you haven't checked it out yet and you were curious. Now for concealer, I am going to be starting by color correcting. This is the Naked Skin color correcting fluid from Urban Decay in the color Peach. I normally use one from NYX, but I've been liking this one as well. It's not as like heavy and thick as the NYX one. This stuff is so lightweight, but it does cover your dark circles. So you can already tell a huge difference in my under eyes. I do like to go over that with my concealer. So I'm going to be using the Amazing Cosmetics Amazing Concealer. I have mine in the color Light Beige. You only need the smallest little amount. That's all I'm going to be using for both of my under eyes. Like literally that's all you need. Again, using my damp Real Technique sponge to blend this out. And I also feel like I don't need to use as much concealer no matter what brand I'm using when I do color correct under my eyes. Look at how gorgeous and airbrushed my under eye looks because of that concealer. And then to set everywhere I put concealer, I'm going to go back in with my translucent loose powder. This one is by L'Oreal. It's their HYDRA Perfecting Loose Powder. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this with my damp sponge and just press the powder into my sponge like that and set underneath my eyes. Now I don't really like baking and leaving like a whole bunch of powder there. I actually really like to press it into my skin. I feel like my concealer lasts so much longer. I'm also gonna set everywhere else I put concealer and where I get the most oily, which is on my forehead, in my T-zone, on my nose especially. I also like to go in my little smile lines and on my chin. So now that that is pretty much set into our skin, I am gonna be setting the rest of my face with a different powder. I like the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural. I have mine in the color medium. I just like to take this on a really big powder brush. I'm using the one one from Real Techniques, and I really just like to press this into my skin, and if I need to, just wipe away whatever little excess is there from the loose powder, but there really is not that much because I really did the work to press it into my skin. It makes such a big difference with my concealer, and it lasts all day long. Now for contour, to give my face some added definition and depth, I'm gonna be taking my Kat Von D Shade and Light palettes. I just like to take that on an angled blush brush. This one's actually from e.l.f., so it's super affordable, and what I like to do now is just kind of dip into all three of these, tapping off the excess, and then just placing this in the hollows of my cheekbones. And I'm not gonna go any farther than like the end of my eyeball. And I'm also taking that up towards the temples just to kind of make my super big forehead a little smaller. And I'm also gonna be bringing whatever's left over on my jawline. That already makes such a big difference. Can you guys see just how nice just a little bit of powder can make your cheekbones? So I'm actually going to take that same palette and just use the middle color in the color Shadow Play on my Look Good Feel Better angled blending brush. I'm going to use this to contour my nose. Start towards the inner corner of my eye and literally just drag down that powder. You're going to make a straight line. You really do not need a lot of powder. A little bit makes a huge difference no matter what. Now because I'm extra and I like to really look highlighted under my eyes, I'm going to go in with my little Z palette. This has a couple MAC powders in there, and I'm going to be taking this one. This is MAC Emphasize. It's one of their shaping powders on a little contour brush from Real Techniques. And with just a light hand, I'm just going to be running this right underneath my eyes, as well as a little bit on my forehead, on my chin. I'm going to take a little bit of that down the center of my nose, and then on my Cupid's bow. And then now that we've kind of like sculpted and highlighted the face, I'm going to be adding some warmth back to my face with my bronzer. I'm going to be going in with the Pure Glow Together Gradient Matte and Shimmer Bronzer, and I'm just going to be using all of the shades in there. So half of it is matte, half of it is shimmer, and then just running this a little bit above our contour. This just gives your skin such a beautiful warm glow. It's not super orange, it's not super cool. So for blush today, I wanted to keep it really neutral since we have quite a bright eye going on today. So I'm going to be taking my Morphe 9N palette. This is a great palette. I freaking love this blush palette. It's one of my favorites. So I think I'm going to take a mixture of these three. You do not need much of this at all. I am going to be tapping off the excess and applying this right to the apples of my cheeks, and pull it a little bit back. So before I apply my highlighter, I do want to finish off my eyes. So I'm just going to go back in with my Morphe 35B palette. I'm going to be taking these two shades again, the kind of like orangey matte shades, on my R39 brush. I'm just going to be buffing these right underneath my lower lash line. I'm then going to take this dark cranberry color again and that bright purple, and then run it on the outer third. I want my lower lash line to be a little bit deeper, so I am going to be going in with the matte black in this palette on my Morphe M506, and then place that super close to the outer corner. So I want my inner corner to look super bright, so I'm going to go in with my BH Cosmetics Foil Eyes 28 Eye Color palette. And I'm going to take a mixture of this one, which is like a nice light baby pink, with this one, which is like a nice light lavender. I'm going to take that same light baby pink color and actually mix it in with the Frosty White as my brow bone highlight. Oh my god. Holy crap. That was a little too intense. And then to finish off the eye look, I'm just going to be doing one more coat of mascara on my bottom lashes. Now for the fun part, the glow, which is my favorite part. I'm actually going to go in with my Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist first to set my face, and then I like to go in and pound on my highlighter because I love when it's super intense, and that's just the way I've been doing it recently. I actually like to do like one side and then do the other side, so I'm going to start with this side, spray a little bit, and while it's still a little bit damp, I'm going to go in with my Bella Cosmetics Fairy Dust Highlighting Palette. Like, look at how gorgeous these are. I'm going to be mixing these two right here in the middle on my Anastasia A23 brush. Like, look at that. So pretty. So I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side, going with my spray. Sometimes I feel like this makes me like too glowy. Like, I look like a freaking extra glazed donut. Which isn't bad, but I mean, You can literally blind someone with this. So I'm actually gonna go off camera for a second, finish off my hair and get changed, and then we're gonna finish off the lips. Okay, I'm back to finish off my lips. I'm gonna start off with the ColourPop Lippie Pencil in the color Oh Snap. I'm gonna be actually outlining my lips a little bit over my natural lip line because I do want my lips to look a little bit extra juicy and plump. So I'm just gonna start on the bottom and then do my top lip. The easiest place for you to overline your lips on the bottom is right in the middle here. So this is where I like to make the most overlining, I guess you could say, and then follow your natural lip line up to the corners. That way you get like the most natural effect, but you're still overlining your lips just a little bit. Okay, so now that we have that done, I'm actually gonna go in with two different colors because I want more of like an ombre look. So I have two different ColourPop Lippie sticks. I have Bound and Skimpy, which are both glossy formulas. So I'm gonna start off with Bound and put that towards the outer like third of my lips. So now that we have Bound on, I'm going to go in with Skimpy, and this is going to go in the center of the lip, blending it into that Bound color. Now, although these are already super glossy, I do want more gloss because I love a glossy lip. So I'm going to be taking the Maybelline Color Elixir in the color 505 Blushing Petal, and it's just going to go right on top. And then this is the final look. I hope you all really enjoyed it. Please give it a big thumbs up if you did, and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you all have an amazing Valentine's Day, no matter who it's with, whether it's with your cats, your dog, your significant other, your box of chocolate, or your favorite movie. I hope you all have an amazing day full of love and laughter, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!